Yeah. All right. Sound like peace, guys. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna try to finish this up because this is continued from the earlier live cast. I started at about 6 o'clock or so, and I was going into I'm going to put it back up there. So definitely check out the first part if you're catching this second piece. For some reason, the camera went kaput or something. I don't know. It was like totally black. So, anywho, technical difficulties. That's just how things go. And that goes into the whole thing that go into that. It's just so funny how stuff can happen. And it's like, yeah, this is, part of the lesson. This is part of the training. This is part of the teaching. When it goes into the being responsible for our roles and what things will look like. There's going to be things that happen around you, things that you cannot control, things that you will not be able to control, but you can control how you operate within it. Like, seriously, I was going to be like, whatever, I'm just going to take off the first one and possibly just do it again another day or anything like that. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to continue. I'm going to see if the camera is working again so I can stream it. If not, I was going to get on the webcam or whatever and get it done because I didn't want it to just be, I don't like to half-ass do stuff just to say that for the most part. So, but I was going to just like, okay, forget it. I'm just going to delete it or I'm just going to take it off. But I felt that I was giving some good information that could be used. And I don't want to get rid of that. So in the last maybe 2 minutes or so, I was fumbling and fidgeting around with trying to get the camera to work. You can just see black screen and kind of hear me in the background in the first live stream, in the first video. So that's fine. But I'm going to continue with where I left off. And I was talking about when you go into school. Again, Assalamu alaikum, peace. My name is Coach Nyla, one of the co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as co-author of the book Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored, and a number of books that you will find at polygamybooks.com. So, yeah. I didn't lose my train of thought. It just was really interesting. But like I said, being responsible for your role and be responsible in your role in polygyny, and there's going to be different things, and we're always going through different challenges. Like I just dealt with this challenge and trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do? What is my choice? I had a choice to just say, okay, well, I'm going to delete this, or I'm going to not do it, or I'm not going to, continue to go live, and I'll just do it another time, or possibly. Like I said before, there's actually some good things that were there, so I'm just going to leave it up, or I'm going to put it back up there because I did put it private, but I'll put it back up there so you guys can see the first part. So the thing is, there's going to be some challenging things, and we have to make our different choices. But let me know in the comments, is there anything that you ever had where you were excited about and you were so ready to learn that there wasn't any difficulty, that there wasn't any challenge, that there weren't times where you say, you know what, maybe I'm not cut out for this, maybe it's too much, but then you still stood the course. You're like, no, I made a commitment, or I made this, or you know what, maybe if I got better, if I improved, maybe if I did this, because regardless of what's going on around me, I made a commitment to myself, and this is what it is, So let me know. Because when it all comes down to it, we have our responsibility for our growth. We have our responsibility for how we behave. What does it look like? And as I said before, what polygyny does is it exposes us. It exposes you, expose us to, our insecurities, if we have them, which a lot of us do, if not all of us. I know have my insecurities. I've had insecurities, I still do on a number of different things. And that's things I'm working on. See, I'm talking about personal development. Personal development is constant. It has to be constant. Because when it's constant, you have the freedom to feel fulfilled, I'll try to say that 3 times fast. You have that opportunity. You won't let other people poke holes in your joy. You will bring the joy. And yes, there'll be some rough times and some down times and some hard times. But what are you going to do with those things? How are you going to build it up? How are you going to push yourself through and not just trudge on through, but how are you going to thrive in it? Right? So, the exposure to these feelings and these insecurities or whatever it is not punishment. It's an eye-opening awareness. It's a self-awareness. And that's fine. When we're able to see what it is that's going on within us and say, this is what I'm going to change, or this is what I see, and this is how I operate, and I know this is my trigger. So this is what I will avoid until I learn how to be able to improve on this, or until I be able to grow through it and handle it in a mature fashion. That's okay. Like, it's so crazy. I've had every one of my clients, every single one of them started at a particular level and ended at a level that they did not see coming. I saw it. And I'm going to say I saw it because that's my job. That's who I am. I'm supposed to see that. I work with people that I can see their potential and I can see what that'll look like. I'm like, oh my gosh, you don't even know. You don't even know. To the point where they come out on top of it, was like, whoa, and it's like, look back, because we do record our session for them. They have their own private where they can view. And I say, look back. I have a client of mine. She said the coaching that I had with her, that it had nothing to do with what she utilized, what she ended up rewatching and using it for. Was amazing that she told me that. She was like, when my mother died, the coaching helped me handle her death and be able to handle it with grace and handle it with strength, because it just helped me be a stronger person, helped me be more, not even just resilient, but just be able to deal with things in a more mature and in a higher level. And it had nothing to do with that. We would never have planned it. That was nothing. Her mother wasn't dying during our coaching. This was a year before that happened, if I'm not mistaken. So you never know. It's like, it's an amazing thing to be able to look back and see things, but she can look back, and she was able to look back. And they look back on their first sessions, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that was me. This is who I was. And I can't even see myself going back to that person. The transformation is real. The transformation is amazing, but we have to have the choice. We have to make the decision to transform. That has to be our goal. I can't give you that goal. I can't make you do that. My task is to give you the information. My task is to provide the coaching. My task is to provide the information, the encouragement, and those different things, to provide the honesty, to push you, if you will. But everything else that comes from that, what you do, that's your task. And I can't intervene in your task. I can't intervene in that. It does not help you. Like others cannot intervene in my task. My task of growth in polygyny and my marriage, they can't do that. That's not helping me. It will most likely hinder. How many people have been thinking that they are helping and they're destroying other people's relationships by the advice that they're giving? That's not their task. That's not their lane. But even if we're getting that, even if we have to be able to make the choice to filter out what is not beneficial. That's our responsibility. So let's talk about the difference of enduring and growing, because we talked about growth and our choice and things like that. We can have the choice. We make the choice to endure and be just endure the marriage, endure polygyny, endure whatever. And polygyny is a form of marriage. It's not like, oh my gosh, what was me? Oh my God, polygyny is like the worst thing ever in life. It's just, it can be challenging because of the dynamic and different moving pieces. But when something is so challenging, and I'm not going to say polygyny is so challenging, but sometimes it can be. But if you're growing through a challenging thing, that you have this amazing goal at the end, there's so much benefit in the other side. But there are people who didn't have a challenging or a crazy challenging polygynous journey. There are people who have. It's not cookie cutter. But that doesn't mean that there are not challenges in it. There's challenges in anything that we do. There's challenges in giving birth. There's challenges in carrying a child. There's challenges in learning a new, whatever it is, learning a new language, making hijra, or traveling, or moving to a different country, which is making hijra, for those who don't know what I meant when I said that. Moving away from where you were. Even if you're moving from a different state, you don't need challenges. Remember my brother and my mother moved from our hometown. And it's just different. It's still different from a lot of us that moved away from there, because we still have loved ones that are there. And just the whole picking up and moving from somewhere you've been for your whole life, for the most part, can be a difficult thing. So there's so many different challenges in life, but we make the choice. We make these choices and see what's beneficial and how we're going to fight through it and how we're going to grow through it, right? So the difference between endurance and growth, are you just going to endure it? Or are you just going to, or are you going to grow through it? Because endurance is just saying, okay, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I don't want my laptop to die on you guys. So you have that. Where are you just enduring? Are you, I'm just still here? Or are you saying, you know what? I'm going to be better than I was. You have the choice. Because you have a number of women who are just surviving. They're surviving polygyny. Surviving like it's just something to survive. It's like you survive in marriage. That's what it's called. You're surviving marriage. Because polygyny is just a form of marriage. It's just plural. Oh, I'm surviving it. Because you're monogamously married to your husband. You're not married to your wife. Your husband's practicing polygyny. And it's like, okay, are you just surviving or are you thriving? What are you doing? 1 second. I want to make sure that, like I said, I don't want this to die. Okay. We're going to be wrapping up soon anyway. So, so here's the thing. Your shift changes from what is happening to me, or this is happening to me, to what is happening in me. What is happening in me? What am I doing? How am I growing? So it's not, oh, this is happening to me. This is like, this is happening in me. This is what I'm taking from this, what I'm getting out of this. Like I said, when I see these clients where they started here, and after 6 weeks, you can see you can see a change. You can see the change. And then after 12 weeks, oh my gosh, so unrecognizable than the person who started 12 weeks before. So unrecognizable. The way they handle things, the confidence. Not saying that things could start with confidence. They can already be pretty much confident in where they are. But then there's some other things that's like, I need some work on this. And it's just a whole different person. It's a beautiful thing to see. So let me give you another point. This will be the last one. Taking responsibility is not about blame. It's not about, oh, okay, well, I take oh, excuse me, I'll take the blame for this. I'll take the blame for this. Or, oh my gosh, I gotta, I'm being blamed. No, take responsibility. That's power. That's personal power. Because now you have the choice, you have the clarity, you you have the control over how you operate with that information that you have and the self-awareness that you have. It's so amazing to be able to do that. And in that book that I was talking about, we talk about freedom. And a lot of that comes from just taking responsibility and saying, you know what? Some people may not like this. Some people may not like me. I messed up and I need to fix it. Okay, that's fine. And I'll do that. We all have our own ups and downs and highs and low and high and low moments. We have these things. That's just normal. That's life. So it's just really interesting. Sometimes when people want to place blame or say certain things, it's like, okay, we talk about glass houses. So those type of things. But when you take responsibility, when you decide that you did make the choice, whatever choice that was, you made the choice. And that's okay as long as you are willing to have the goal to grow. And not saying that you're going to be perfect. We're not going to be perfect. It's not going to be a perfect thing. It's going to be highs and lows, ups and downs, new things that you may have to learn and navigate through, things that you may be like, oh, that ain't going to work. Let me throw that to the side. That's not going to work. Trying this. This ain't working. Let's try something else. But being able to grow and say, okay, well, this did work. So let's continue with this. Or this is how we communicate. Or now I understand you a little bit more. I know what your triggers are. This is my triggers. This is what hits me hard. This is what hits you hard. This is what we like. This is how we connect. This what works. That's how it looks on the other side. That's how it looks on the other side. So here's the thing. The only thing living inside your lane is you. So you want to make sure you're staying in your lane. And it's your reactions, your mindset, your growth. And when I say stay in your lane, that means that you are working on you. You can't mess with other people's tasks. Like I said, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. Leave their tasks to them. You start veering off in somebody's lane, you crash. Your lane is clear. So make sure you're focusing on you and working on you, because the more you work on you, the better things will be, because you know how to handle things around you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. Okay. So I'm gonna give you an assignment. Okay. The identity anchor is like, I'm not broken. I'm being built for resilience, being built for strength, being built for power, being built for self-awareness, being built for my maturity, femininity, all that beautiful stuff that makes me me. That's your identity anchor. And your journaling prompt, your assignment I'm giving you to journal, is what has polygyny exposed in me that I am now ready to take responsibility for? What is it? Okay? What is that thing? And that's for you. You can share it if you want, but that's for you. All right? So everything I just talked about is just rooted in my training, it's rooted in the books that we write. And if you want to go deeper, first you have to find out, like I said, where you are. Instead of going, when it comes to knowing where you're going, you got to know where you are. So make sure you're taking a polygamy quiz. Go to polygamyquiz.com, find out where you are on the spectrum. On the spectrum to C1, C7. It just, anyway, my brain. And the link is in the description. Polygamyquiz.com. Fairly simple. All right. So I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I look forward to seeing you next week. But definitely put that in your journal. What has polygamy exposed or polygyny exposed in me that I'm now ready to take responsibility for? And how am I going to take responsibility for that? What is my goal? And work on that goal. You can do it. I know you can. So make sure you're growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. I will see you next week in Mind Your Marriage Mondays. And till next time, assalamu alaikum. Peace. Hey, Sherry Cherry. Assalamu alaikum. I'm to live at a cat too. All right, see you guys next week. Assalamu alaikum.